It was the first, I used to collect soundtrack albums when I was a kid. I still do. But it was the first soundtrack album I ever got. I asked my dad and mom to buy it for me by Laith Stevens. And it's a real piece of symphonic classical music, unusual those days for a score.
You mentioned earlier this week when we spoke that you wanted to make Close Encounters of the Third Kind before Jaws, and no one would let you do it. I was wondering if you could just kind of what if with me for a minute. If someone had let you do it, what would that movie have been like? Would you be here today? How do you
make Close Encounters? Because it was a fringe. It was kind of a sort of, it was on the fringes of science and mythology. And so no one really got it. When I said I want to make a UFO movie, everybody thought, well, when you want to make a movie about the National Enquirer, that's what you want to do. You want to make a movie about crackpot reporting, things that aren't really occurring, and you want to make a completely crazy fantasy film about something that's happening. So when I went around to pitch, it wasn't called Close Encounters in the page. It was just called the UFO movie. And I couldn't get any traction from the studios. Nobody was really interested in that at all. And then when Jaws came around, and after Jaws was released, everybody came to me and said, you have an old diary. We'll shoot anything you have. I mean, it was great. It's like suddenly they opened the doors, the vaults, and said, what are you going to do next? And I had this on stand.
At that time, did you have a notebook full of ideas of these are all the things that I want to do in my career?
Only Close Encounters. One of the Close Encounters, I directed the Sugar Express. So this was something that I really had always, it was my dream film.
Going back and looking at all the science fiction films in your career, there's a real divide, it feels like. And I'm curious about that. It seems like over time, you've grown increasingly suspicious, concerned. That's the sort of the warmth that we remember from Close Encounters and E.T. has kind of turned a bit. You look at AI, War of the Worlds, and Ready Player One. Does that reflect your feelings about our future, where we're going?
I think any filmmaker would not be completely honest if they said that there's a lot of the subconscious that rubs off on every choice. Every choice that we make to decide a genre or decide on a particular book or a script that we find or have always wanted to do, it always comes out in the wash. And as I've gotten older and I've become more aware of the world as it was, as it is currently, and as I hope it could be someday, that's going to always rub off on the work. The only reason I wanted to make War of the Worlds is I thought that George Pell and Byron Haskin, the director, made a perfectly great film. In the first War of the World with Gene Barry,